Hey everybody, what's up? My name is PBM or Polar Bear Mike. Today we're going to be doing patch notes review for patch 4.5 in Smite. Going to try to keep this a little short. I say that every time, but we're going to try to just go through this. So, Poseidon remodel, he looks pretty updated, looks good. We have like this series of skins, like Star, freaking whatever skins. The Kepler one's pretty sick. Don't really care about the rest. Bastet, updated mastery event. New event, excuse me, this is where all the skins come into play. You get bonus rewards, loading frame. Background loading screen, this is the first time this has come in. So this is basically as you load into game. Before it was just a black screen, and now you'll actually have like some different skins or whatever they want to call it for that. Moving on, achievements, nobody cares. So, miscellaneous, they actually changed a good bit of this. This is kind of how items stack with each other. So attack speed slows, for example, with like old Witchblade, or I guess current Witchblade and like Runic Shield, stuff like that. They changed the way that type of stuff worked a little bit. You can read through this, and then they added, when you get a notification at the bottom of the screen of like X person has purchased sovereignty or something, they added that for Magic Shell, Meditation, Phantom Veil, so on and so forth. So you get that little notification in game. Clan banning. This is just like if you had an open join clan, like anybody could join it, but there was this one person who you didn't want in it and they kept rejoining or something, you can now ban them instead of having to keep kicking them. So pretty normal stuff. Item changes, flickering ritual. So this is a huge deal on patch, or I guess in 4.3. They kind of nerfed the hell out of flickering ritual and made the range only 40 units, but it wasn't in patch notes, so they decided to keep that change. So now flickering ritual is a lot worse. This is combat blink. Overall, I like this change a lot. Screw the rituals, pretty much. It's too OP in late game, and I'm glad that it got nerfed really, really hard. It's now 1,000 gold and 40 units, so big nerf to this item. Hydra's Lament, they are nerfing the tier 2 of Hydras because it's just too cost efficient, and they didn't want to nerf the tier 3 item, so there you go. This is actually Hydra's Star is what's getting nerfed, so not sure why it says Hydra's Lament instead, but whatever. Mantle of Discord. So this is, sorry I have to keep clearing my throat, holy, I don't know what's wrong with me. So, Mantle of Discord, this is actually a buff in my opinion. So, 5% CDR is a good bit, but because all of the other items are even numbers with their CDR, often, like, I don't know, 5% is 5%, you don't want to, like, discount that, but I think the price is more impactful. The real reason to buy Mantle is just for the good procs and the passive. The CDR was kind of just an added benefit, and I don't think 5%, I think the 200 gold is more impactful than the 5%, so I think this is a slight buff for Mantle, which is kind of scary. Mark of the Vanguard, decreased health from 150 to 100, good change. Too many Guardians in Soul Lane, too many Guardians everywhere, really, just getting away with buying this item. It's so cost efficient everywhere, it's so much defense, like, supports get it, like, Watchers, Boots, Mark, and you feel really tanky, like, Soul Laners just start with it, and you can't freaking kill them for the next, like, 20 minutes of the game. I don't know. Ridiculous item, I'm glad that's getting some adjustment. Masamune increased the protection provided by each stack from 5 to 7, so now the max amount of procs you can get from it is 35, I believe, right? Instead of 25. Decent change. Wait, is it 35 instead of 25? Because it's... yeah, wait, okay, it is. Okay, never mind, I'm not crazy. Yeah, it's 35 to 25. Relic stacking changes, so all relics have been updated and not stacked with their upgraded form. That means if you had, like... if you had a Soul Laner with a normal Magic Shell, and a support with an improved Magic Shell, and they popped both of those, you would get both of the effects. It wouldn't be like one or the other, right? So they have changed that. I think that's what it's saying. Greater sprint will now always provide the basic attack penalty removal even if movement speed buff is removed from the target. Just kind of a fix there, but that's also a big buff. The Rod of Healing no longer stacks with each other. This is actually a huge nerf, and I'm glad to see it because it was kind of silly. It was so hard to counter healing comps if they took advantage of this. This has been available for a long time, where you can have like whatever your healer is. Say you had like a raw mid, they can buy Rod of Asclepius, and your support could just buy like tier 2 Rod of Healing, and like meditation, fire giant buff, any other healing or regen would get both of the benefits of this, and it was super crazy regen. There's an interesting interaction here though, where if you have a Rod of Asclepius and a Rod of Healing out of combat, the Rod of Asclepius will always win. If both of them are in combat, Rod of Asclepius will win. But if the Rod of Asclepius player is in combat and the Rod of Healing player is out of combat, I think the Rod of Healing effect is stronger. I think that's what Pom Pom was trying to say on the patch notes. I'm not 100% on that, but that's what he made it sound like. Enchanted Spear gets a cost reduction, pretty good. Spear Desolation, this is a huge change. 200 gold less than Spear Desolation. This item has so much like power, CDR, and pen for its stats, and the passive is good too. I expect you will see a ton of mages pick this up. Actually, I would think this is just a core item now. You probably could just go like helmet into boots into Spear Desolation, and because both helmet and spear give a lot of flat pen, you might even see people go cooldown shoes now. That could be a possibility. I don't know, because pen shoes is just so much damage. Spear of the Magus increased the passive stack count from 3 to 5, so it takes longer to stack the benefit of this, but if you can do that, if you're like a Zhonghui or an Anubis or something that has a lot of dot damage or a lot of ticks on their abilities, then you're getting 20 extra pen from this item. And it's even better than 20 extra pen. It's 20 extra prot shred, which means your teammates can also take advantage of the debuff, similar to how Executioner works with physical damage dealers. This is a huge buff. This actually, I'd say Spear for the last year and a half or so has just been inferior to Obshard. Like, pretty much every single scenario, Obsidian Shard has just been more pen and more damage. Spear of the Magus may be a better option now for gods that can kind of take advantage of it, like a Zhonghui, like a Anubis, stuff like that. Soul Trap, reduced cost from 1600 to 1400. This just means that you get your power spike a little bit quicker. However, your Book of Thoth and Soul Reaver will be... Your back timing between tier 2 of Soul Trap and Book of Thoth or Soul Reaver will be longer, but getting this power spike quicker is just a buff, no matter what. This also means if you wanted to, you could start with this if you're like a Kukulkan, for example, who likes to get a Book of Thoth really, really early in their build. Maybe it's viable to just get Soul Trap out of base, get like 2 health pots, and then just farm up for your Book of Thoth. Might be a possibility. God changes Aphrodite, this is just a tooltip fix. This is like for Morgan interactions and stuff. We're not a tooltip, it's like a bug fix, but whatever. Ares, so increased minion damage dealt from 25 to 105 to 50 to 130 on minions on his shackles. So this is a really cool way to buff Ares because it doesn't make him broken in other game modes. And it does kind of tweak his weaknesses in Conquest, which are currently that he just has really, really, really bad clear at level 1. And oftentimes what you would do with Ares is just try to get your chains and try to like roam the jungle before the game started and try to find a pick, or to just fight people in lane. So you would get your shackles anyways, and now that you're doing, like, now that you're rewarded with minion damage, even if you don't find that pick or if you don't fight in lane, it helps you clear a little bit better so you're not punished for taking your shackles at level 1. And then also at level 2 you get more clear as well. This is a pretty cool change for Ares. I think he will still be kind of a similar power level that he was before. I don't think he's broken or anything like that. But now that they've changed him, you may see people try him a little bit more in Morgan comps or stuff like that. I don't know why my monitor keeps shaking. That's probably really weird for the camera. But anyways. Kerninos, so they nerfed the fuck out of him. Or not really that badly, but obviously they nerfed him. They reduced the power on his... Or just reduced his base power by 3. They reduced the base power of his... Just like everything has less base power. This is the big one. Bramble Blast no longer slows. That means that he has the polymorph in his kit, and he has a single target root. This is a good change in my opinion. He just had way too much CC and way too much lockdown before. He had a slow on his 2 and had a slow with his winter season on his 1. So just way too much CC overall. It's nice to remove a little bit of that. I still think he's insanely strong. He's not available for competitive play yet, so I haven't really gotten to see just how good he is, but it's nice to tone down his kit a little bit because he was definitely really overstated. Hercules, increased cooldown and mitigate wounds. So mitigate wounds is absolutely insane this season. It's the reason you're seeing people pick Hercules a little bit more. So they go ahead and nerf this. I'm sure this will make every single casual player ever a lot happier too. Just nerf Hercules a good bit. Still pretty strong. His kit is still good. Jing Wei has been complete garbage ever since she got mass nerfed. Not complete garbage. She's actually been a little underrated. Her clear just is... The reason I think you mainly don't see Jing Wei despite all of the nerfs is that her strength was never really with lane clear. It was with jungle clear. Because her knock-up can't hit the entire wave unless you get it like stacked up way beforehand. So they decreased the cooldown on explosive bolts. They also increased her base health and her movement speed. I really don't like these two changes because it just makes her tankier and harder to kill and harder to chase down. And her kit already had so much mobility that she was hard to dive anyways. So I'm really not a fan of this change. I do, however, like the explosive bolts change. I think it incentivizes Jing Wei players to go for more of like a risky crit build where you like max your 2 after your 1 and you kind of don't get the cooldown reduction on your dash. So, I don't know, pretty good change. It's nice to see Jing Wei get touched a little bit without making her broken. I don't know if this makes her playable or not, but that will be left to be seen. Nemesis, so this is basically just fixing a consistency where gods like Xing Ten and what's the other one I can't think of, they can like do abilities between their dashes, but Terra, they can do other abilities between their dashes, but Nemesis can't. And they basically reverted, or didn't revert that. They made it so that Nemesis can do the first part of her dash and then like alt people or 2 people or do whatever and then use her dash again. Whereas before, if you were to dash and then use anything else, auto attack, right click it, just alt anything, you lose your dash. So it's good. It's a good change in terms of consistency for the game, in terms of like how these abilities are structured. But it makes Nemesis a lot more OP. She hasn't been getting that much play in Season 4. Why am I saying a lot? I'm freaking bot. But she hasn't been seeing that much play in Season 4. This will make her a lot better. I don't know if it makes her great. She's kind of a brain-dead character regardless. She's so annoying to have in the meta when she's OP. Hopefully this doesn't push her into it. But she's so, like... This allows her to make so many freaking plays now and to be punished so much less. She already has an insane passive and her ult is insane and her 3 can reflect so much damage and get her out of so much trouble when you get engaged on as a Nemesis. So, I don't know. I'm a fan of changing it for consistency, but I wish they would have taken something else away from her so that she didn't become broken because I'm a bit worried about that, but that's left to be seen. Morrigan. Fixed an issue where clients were not taken to the end of match lobby if the Morrigan ultimate ends after the game. So just bug fixes with Morrigan. You'll see these on and off. Pretty cool that Morrigan is allowed in competitive though. Thoth, I love this change. This is the best change in all of the patch notes because the mana cost on the ult at its base is just like a decent change. That just makes him... Like, you just can't spam his abilities as much. Like, I mean, it's 10 mana. How much of a big deal is it really? The big deal is that canceling the ability now costs 30 mana. So if you charge the ult and then cancel it, it drains 30 mana from you. This is so nice. I am so tired of playing arenas with all of the freaking troll Thoth players and just having them cancel this crap and having to hear the freaking sound loop in my ear over and over. Thank God that this is gone. I don't even care about the balance implications of it. Screw Thoth characters, or screw Thoth players for channeling that over and over. Vamana, updated ability icon, that's just to go with the remodel earlier this year. And Zhang Kui, Expose Evil should now deal 75% of the remaining scaling damage in addition to the base damage it was already dealing. Basically, his Expose Evil wasn't dealing the correct damage that it was intended to do. It has now been buffed. It was corrected, but it ends up being a buff. So Zhang Kui got a lot of love in 4.4. He now gets a bit of a bonus in 4.5. So maybe Zhang Kui is good. I don't know. They keep pushing him closer and closer towards being good. And why, I don't know, because I hate this character. And that is the end of the patch notes. I hope you all enjoyed it. Kind of stuttered a lot and all that stuff, but I was trying to rush through it. Anyways, have a good one. I'll see you next time.